My life wasn't bad. Everything was going well. And then I lost my best friend. You know what? I need to take a chance. I need to, to go out there.
What were you looking for?
Myself.
Welcome to the Canadian Dream Podcast. On this episode, I'm sitting with someone who is very scary looking, but he's got a great heart and an incredible story to share with us. Just in case, I have 4 bodyguards here, so take it easy, okay? With you guys, Rodrigo Carvalho. Thanks for coming today.
It's great. Thanks for inviting me. I just want to know they're scary because they're ugly. It's because of Jiu Jitsu.
You are a world champion in Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that first, before we go back to your story, etc. When did you win a world championship?
It was a long time ago, 2001. I was 19 years old. Was lucky to start training Jiu-Jitsu at 14. And was a nice beginning because my dad was a PE, physical educator. And I was always involved in sport. I was practicing like swimming, soccer, you name it, right? And as a 14 years old, in that age, you try to find an identity, and I was just, in that phase of, you're not a teenager, you're a teenager, and then you want to become a man, but not a man yet. So you ride that transition. My sister started dating a guy who was doing jiu-jitsu. And this guy, and just started dating a guy who's doing jiu-jitsu. And this guy came and invited me, hey, let's go for a class. And I, not really, I was swimming at that time. And I said, not really. And then he started showing me some movements on my mom's living room. And I was just like a very skinny, tall kid. And then he showed me a triangle as a choke you can use your legs. A few weeks later, he convinced me to go for a class. So I got in the class, 14 years old, it was a Friday, gave him a gi, put it on, get on the mat, the class started. And 10 minutes after class start, this police officer was a federal cop, like in Brazil, right? So it's a big deal for us, a federal cop, right? And the guys come he's like in the middle of this, like a 34, 35 years old, strong dude. He came out armed, because he just left work, came straight to the gym. And he asked the professor, just left work, sorry for being late, can I get in? The professor said, of course. And I was just like, a federal cop, right? Take everything off, put the gi on, join the class. And I remember that day, the end of the class, the party time start. And the professor said, you young boy, go with him. It was the police officer. I just like, I'm dead. Right away in my mind, I'm dead. The guy is going to kill me. And I managed to pull up the only submission I learned from my brother-in-law, my sister boyfriend, the triangle. And I landed, and the guy tapped. So in that moment was a pivot point for me. Because, as I said, I was just a teenager. I was, trying to find my identity. I was, in the middle of the day, you tap like you're not a kid no more. You're a teenager, but you want to be a man, but you're not a man, And that moment was just like I felt a power I never felt before. I said, I could kill that guy if I want, because it was a choke, right? And he was bigger and stronger than me. And then I quit swimming that day. I bought my gi. I started training 5 days a week, and
the rest is history.
Yeah, 5 years later, I was being a world champion. So that's how much into I got in. It was great for me.
So let's rewind a little bit. Where were you born, and how was your childhood?
I was born in the Amazon. I'm a jungle boy. I was literally born right in the middle of Amazon in Brazil. It's called Boa Vista. It's right in the extreme north of Brazil. I was born and raised there. I left. I was 21.
How was your family?
It was great. I was very lucky. My family gave everything. We are not rich, but they gave me everything I need. I have good role models. That's the reason I have my mom and my dad tattoo on me. How proud I am for, and glad to have them in my life. They give to me everything I need, but not in a financial way. But the values and everything they teach me, they help me a lot to putting me ahead of life. So I'm very glad that as you get old, you understand how much important those lessons are.
Like what?
Values, like, be honest, and do the things in the right way, and sometimes take decision if it's not good for yourself, but it's the right decision to take. That is very important. Do what's the best for you. And my mom and my dad's like, no, don't do what, sometimes we do what is best for you, but it's not best for other people. So you cannot be that selfish. That's not the right direction. You have to do what's the right to do. And sometimes the right thing to do is the one is not the best choice for you. And that goes back like for everything we go in life. We take some decision and we put ourselves through things that are hard, like would it be way better for me I stay in Brazil and don't take the chance to come to North America, because my life was good.
What were you doing?
Won the world championship, and then comes to what I'm going to do next. I was 19 years old. I want to become a physiotherapist, and my town didn't have the course in any university in my town. So I went to Brazil, the capital, in 2002. Went to Brazil, was lucky to get on the best university, start to study, and then I have this idea to start a social project in Brazil. I wasn't a physiotherapist yet. I wasn't, in the beginning of my course, then all I knew was Jiu Jitsu.
So that was a side project that it took on?
Yeah, I grew up seeing my mom and my dad helping people. Like we could not, never in our life could not leave food on our plate, because they always say like someone in the world would die to have that what you left living. So always they put that in our mind. Always I saw my mom at the weekends, cook extra food and take someone, right in the corner who was asking for money. So that's something we carry on our family, right? Yeah. So I said, what can I do? What can I do? And then I have like a favela nearby. And I said, okay, I'm going to teach there. Then I went down there, I found a capoeira place. The guys, I said, hey man, can I let them put a mat here? He's like, yeah, for sure. You're going to charge? If no, I'm not going to charge. Okay, I'm not going to charge you. So go on. They started. A year later, I have 300 kids training under me. And then I started to ask for the help for the school, for the people in my class. And they say, hey guys, they're going to have this tournament. No, I have to buy gi for the kids. And then they started getting together. The university came in and said, you know what, you're going to buy the 300 outfit for the kids. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then ended up the university giving me sponsorship, because I was, so ended up I started doing, and I have all my university paid for.
And you also taught police officers and the army in Brazil?
Yes, I was teaching this social project, teaching the kids, and the kids started growing. And one of them is called Vanderson. He's here in Canada. He started with me in the social project there in Brazil. And he, 18 years old, is like, professor, I have to stop training because I'm going to go to my army. And I said, and he didn't want to go. I said, you have to go, son. You have to go. Like, that's opportunity. But I don't want to stop training if it doesn't matter. Go to army, go to the army. So he went to the army, and he was there at some point. He was asking to leave a little bit earlier for his commander. Say, hey, can I leave? And the guy's, why? It's like, it's because I train Jiu Jitsu and every day I miss, to the time I got the bus, get there, it's late. I just got the last 10 minutes of the training. I can even arrive tomorrow a little bit early, but let me. And the guys, you train Jiu Jitsu? Yes. Who's your professor? They tell him to come here. I want to talk to him. And then Benderson comes to the class. And, professor, you can go tomorrow to the headquarters of Army. They want to talk to you. And I said, what the heck did you do, boy? So I went down there, and they invited me. So you teach for the kids. But yeah, I do. So we wanted to do you train us. And that's how we started training in the army in Brazil. It was the biggest army in Brazil, the biggest headquarters we have in Brazil. Yeah. So I was teaching there for 3 years. And then this student, Vanderson, he started to help me out. And and from there, we grew. Then I started, one of our students for the social project was world champion 2007 for the favela. I took to US. She was world champion at easy. And then
was it a girl?
It was a girl. And all these kids, started growing. And today I have 2 of them in Alabama with schools. I have vendors here with me. So they're following me, you know.
Nice. So you were, and eventually you graduated. Did you get your master's degree as well?
Yeah, I graduated in physio, and then I went to Rio to do my specialization in intensive care for newborn. You know, that was 2.5 years more studying. Wow. And then I went back to Boa Vista. And I was the first physio specialized in newborn, intensive care for newborn. And what we do, we need to take care of the machine, the machine to take care of the breathing of the kid. So we put out the parameters and everything. And so I went back that nobody was doing that. So I got 2 really good jobs. So I was working on the municipal hospital, 8 hours, and I finished, and I go to 8 more hours to the state hospital. Oh, so I was working 16 hours a day.
To shift. But so you had won a world championship.
Yeah.
You had your students, you were teaching, you were involved in different projects, you graduated, you had 2 jobs. Why the heck did you decide to leave all that and come to Canada?
Exactly. My life wasn't bad. That's the point. It was really good. I was making a lot of money. I was opening a clinic. I was about to open a clinic. You know, it was a big place. Everything was going well. And then I lost my best friend. It's a car crash. You know, and I had the opportunity to be beside him when he passed, because I got the call. We spent the night together, and then
you didn't have the opportunity to be in the car crash next to him.
I was, yeah, man, but I was close because we are in a farm nearby the town, and it was May 31st, 2008, and was my dad's birthday. And he said, take my car, go, and come back to pick me up. And I came, have a lunch with my dad, and when I was sitting at the table, I got the phone. Hey, Magno got in a crash. And I rushed to the hospital, so I got it at the same time the ambulance was getting in. Mm-hmm. So because I work in the hospital, I walk in with him. So, and a few minutes later, he was passing, and I was right beside him. But that's hit me a lot, and that's making me stop my life. And because at that time, I was very just money-oriented, like in Brazil, right? It's kind of our culture in Brazil. We always chasing always, because it's so hard, right? And I was with that vision, tunnel vision. Just I need to make more money, So I was working 16 hours a day. You know, I was and I wasn't training. I was only working, and when Magno died, they made me step back, say, where am I going with my life with this? I'm gonna be dead in 10 years. I just was working. I was drinking too much. I was, it was good on the financial aspect, but wasn't good overall. I wasn't good. And then I stepped back. I said, you know what? I'm going to try to find myself. And when I was in university, this friend of mine, Dundee, he didn't finish university. He went to LA. And then he stayed there teaching Jiu Jitsu. And he was calling me every month, like, hey, you know how much I'm making here? And you there, working so much, and not making even a half hour making. I just shut up, and Dandy, let me live my life. So in that time, I just I'm going to visit Dandy. And it was nice. My dad was in vacation in Victoria. It's a city nearby Rio. And then they called and, hey, Dad, Mom, you're going to be there on the weekend? Yes, okay, I'm going to be there. I need to talk to you. So, Alton, in one week, I sold everything I had.
What?
I came to my...
And what was it, everything you sold?
I sold my clinic. I got it to my 2 business partners. I say, hey, I'm leaving. I don't know if I will be back. So buy my part. It was 50%. It wasn't 33. So they're 25, and 50. And they said, no, Rodrigo, you know what? Go, live your Disneyland dream. When you come back, we're going to be here. I said, I'm not going to come back.
You were burning the bridge. You were...
Yeah. I said, I'm not going to come back. And then after, listen, if you don't buy, I'm going to sell to somebody else. When I said that, they knew I was. Okay. And then we sat down, we made a deal.
But you hadn't been to...
Never. No, I haven't been in 2007 to bring that I studied
okay.
workshop.
So you knew what the U.S. looked like.
Yes.
Had you been to Canada before?
Never.
No.
Never.
Okay. So you kept selling your gym or your clinic. What else did you sell?
I sold my car. I sold my motorcycle to my brother-in-law. And then I started selling my TV. It got to a point, was a few days before I leave, I looked to my room. I literally called my friends, hey, come here to pick up something. They're walking. I want this. I want that. Take it. And I talked with my two bosses. I went to talk to them. The first ones, they look like they talk before talk to me. Both of them said, Rodrigo, we cannot pay if not working, but when you come back, your job will be here.
Cool.
And that was nice to hear. So, okay, it's fine. So I went to my dad and my mom and gave them news, right? So when I went to Victoria, I had my flight ticket purchased from São Paulo to LA already.
Wow.
So I went to talk to them for them to take the flight to go. And I told my dad and my mom, and we started crying right away. It's like, oh, I wait so much, you come back home and you're leaving again. And I said, you know what? I need to take a chance. I need to, to go out there.
And what were you looking for?
Myself.
Yourself?
Myself. I wasn't myself. I was too much money orientated, just working, I want to buy this, want to build that, and I lost myself, to help people, to, do something with love. I was doing something for money, and I was getting money, but I was getting happy. I was working crazy hours, and for a leader, I was after myself. And was nice because when I landed in U.S., in LA, and I got there, and my friend was teaching in a Gracie Barra school, and then he took me in and said, where's your gi? I said, I didn't bring it. He's like, which kind of black belt are you? You don't travel with your gi. And I, right away, just like, I'm not training for so long, right? Like, he got my gi, put it on, and I started training. And I found 1 week after I arrived, I found myself after training, lay down the mats, tired, and talk. I couldn't speak in English back then. When I came here, I had zero English. And I found myself, that was the first glimpse. I said, man, that's it. Because I was feeling good. I was on the mat, right? That good feeling. And shit, I'm sorry about that. I'm just like, damn it. Beep. That's what I was missing. And for that
what exactly was that? Being tired on the mat?
It's being happy inside.
Happy.
Being
what
happy.
Changed? What made you feel fulfilled like this so fast?
It wasn't so fast. I believe was this attachment of what I was living, to drop everything, like burn out the bridges. Because look what I said to you. I was doing good in all the sport, in swimming that time, and I dropped everything inside Jiu Jitsu 5 years after I was world champion. And then I started university. I was the best in my class among the men's. And then I came to US. I left home with the same mentality. I said, I'm not going to leave anything behind to make me look back than my family. And every single thing I sold it to don't have that idea say, oh, I have this, I have that back there, right? I never have that mentality. So I caught off and I said, I'm going to start a new life.
And then, so 10 days in LA, you were the happiest person on the planet. Yet,
not quite.
Yet you ended up in Canada. Why did you leave and come to Canada?
Yeah, that was nice because I have my cousin Ayrton. He came here like 20 years ago.
Here
in Vancouver. Came to Vancouver 20 years ago to learn English, and he made a friend. And this guy's become a big friend of him, Aaron. And the Aaron went to Brazil several times, and I met Aaron there because he stayed with us. Nice guy. And he used to live in Kitsilano. So I was in LA like 4, 5, 6 months in, studying English, teaching Jiu Jitsu, not deciding what I would do. I knew I would do. I thought, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to teach Jiu Jitsu. I want to be involved in sport again. And then Aaron calls me, and Aaron said, Rodrigo, come. I can't believe you're in LA. I didn't know. Carl Ayrton told me you were in LA. Come to visit me. Come spend 2 weeks with me. So I really, yeah. And I didn't know where Canada was for where I was in LA. I don't know it was north, south, east, west. I know it was north, but I didn't know if I was in the west side. I didn't know. Vancouver. And then I remember opening my computer. Oh, I'm pretty close. And check. Oh, just 2.5 hours flying. But okay, I'm coming. And then I was working. You probably gonna remember. Renato Babalu is a MMA fighter, super famous. I was working as a gym, and I said to and that time Babalu wants to open a Gracie Barra in Hollywood, and I would be the head instructor. So, and I said, hey guys, I'm going to Canada for 2 weeks for Vancouver, and the Babalu said right away, you won't be back. I said, no man, I'm just going to visit a friend. I will be back. I said, Rodrigo, have you been in Canada? Have you been in Vancouver? And no, I said, I had, and I'm telling you, you won't be back. And he was right. And because I was living in a ghetto it's called Cerritos, I never will forget. One day I was listening to the chopper around our complex, and I opened the door, and it was at night. It was just like the chopper, and the lights on, and then our parking lot. And I I think they are recorded a movie, And then I do, man, shut down, this is the police. And a few minutes later, they blast into one of the apartments, they busted some drug dealers there. But I wasn't a bad place. I wasn't even a bad place in LA. It wasn't. I wouldn't say, I live in LA. The people think in Hollywood or, Huntington Beach. It wasn't like that. And that was a nice story as well, because we're talking about I have like a brand new car, motorcycle, everything the best.
In Brazil.
And a month later, I was asleep on the floor in an air mattress, In
a first world country.
Exactly. But that's the thing, and I was trying to find myself, and I said, that's necessary.
How was it the day you landed in Vancouver?
So I was lucky because it was summer 2009.
Oh, yeah, you were lucky because you came in the summer.
Summer 2009. And then and he lived in Kitsilano, I think Red Bull Street. And I was there. He was going out to work. He would be back at 5 o'clock. So I stayed most of the time by myself at home. And then I said, he said, Rodrigo, 2 blocks down is the beach. And I remember, man, that was made me decide to stay here. I walk in, when I got to Kitsilano Beach, was a beautiful sunny day. Man, I look, people running, bicycling, doing sport, the ocean, the city, the mountains, everything come together just to remind Rio. Just exactly Rio. And I love Rio. And when I looked at it, I said, man, I found the Rio de Janeiro for the first world. Safe, everyone loves sports. The city comes together with the mountains and the ocean. And I said, I'm not going to leave. Decide to stay. And
do you remember what aspirations you had back then? What dreams you had? When you arrived in Canada, did you imagine you would become who you have become now?
No, because back then, how you can think how you're going to pay your rent next month, right?
Yeah.
I didn't have, in fact, I have a plan, everything planned out in my mind, I would be lying. I'm just like, how going to make the next step? That's pretty much what it is. How going to get my visa to stay here? How going to get my visa to work here? How going to pay my next month rent, right? That's pretty much was leaving.
You didn't have a work visa.
No, I came as a visitor. And that's what I'm saying. It's hard to try to predict anything or have any kind of business when you're here as a visitor. If I was, okay, I got to work and I need this working visa. How can I take it? How can I get a working visa? And you need money to apply. And that's what I'm saying. Like, it's not easy, as you know. And I said, okay, I start to make a plan with like a week plan that goes to 2-week plans, a month plan. And I start to solve the problems, Like at first I have to apply and then get a visa and then work and then start from there. But I knew this was the place. I like that's some friends of say, hey, Rodrigo, what's the difference? I live in both places, right? I live in Cali and I live here. And I said, guys, if you've never been in Canada, you think the first word is U.S., and that's perfect. But when you come to Canada, you see, have something better. the people was way more polite and educated. Sometimes I have an example, a few times. This doesn't happen many times. As I said, I came to U.S. without English, zero. And I was trying to order my food. And a few times they're like, man, come on. What if you want? Speak out. I have those kind of, not polite. I never have this here. I never had this here. I never saw that happen here.
Did you feel that you were treated like a foreigner though?
In U.S., yes.
And how about here?
In U.S., not.
No?
No.
So when I came here too, I had been to 30 countries and I arrived in Toronto actually. And I felt for the first time, oh, welcome, you're one of us.
Exactly.
Is that what happened?
Exactly. So,
but you didn't know anybody. You only had this one friend who was actually your friend's friend, not your friend.
Not my friend.
How did that relationship help you at the beginning?
I stayed for 2 weeks in his house, and then he helped me to find another place, and then I move in, and that's comes Jiu-Jitsu, right? And I look for a gym to train. As soon as I pop in there, start to make friends. And those friends helped me to get through the process of the visa. I didn't speak in English that time well, so got all the papers, and then we made a fundraiser to raise money to pay for the lawyer and then you start to create a community around you, right? The students, friends.
Were they mostly Brazilian?
No, Canadian. Yeah, some Brazilians and some Canadians. And I have a Brazilian guy, Rafael. He's back in Brazil now. And he was studying English here, so he was my translator for the classes, And then he started teaching. Got to a point where he decided to open a school supposed to be in White Rock and Surrey. And then the owner of the gym I was teaching was a Gracie Barra. He was using the name the Gracie Barra, but he wasn't official.
Because Gracie Barra is a franchise.
It was a franchise,
right?
Yeah, at that time wasn't the beginning, so he was using the name to be smart, but he wasn't official. So, and then he decided to sell the gym. And then I said, okay.
Let's start a fundraising campaign.
No. And then I was like, okay, started talking about, and that was funny. He charged me a price. He's put a price on his business. Elton was, if I get all the money has been in my hands for my entire life, wasn't half of what he asked for. And was a lot of money. And not because you have to exchange I'm comparing because you have to do the exchange to Rio. So it was a lot of money. And then I just okay, deal. And then the guys.
You didn't have the money.
The day I signed up the paper, I have $400 in my account. $400.
And he was asking for.
We're talking about
10,000, 20,000.
Almost $500,000.
What?
Almost $500,000, 400 something. Yeah.
Okay, so
that's what I'm talking.
So tell me more. Well, what happened after that?
Here's the thing.
And then you showed him a triangle.
No. I was working for him, and I knew the potential, and I knew he was doing not even half what he could do it. He was there for the money. He wasn't there because of the love of Jiu-Jitsu. No, the guy didn't even know Jiu-Jitsu properly. And that's the reason I want to leave it to open my own. But then he has his school with 170 students that time, 180. But what's the location? What's the area?
Where was it?
Good.
In Vancouver?
Was across the street where we are right now. Okay. Was across the street. I didn't have the money. Of course I didn't have the money. No. But I knew it would make it happen. Has everything in my life. Or I got the kids from the favela and put them as a champion, world champion. That would be easy for me. And I said, I'm going to make this work. The guy used to be my business partner, friend of mine at the time, Eddie. Now he's the owner of Gracie Barra White Rock. And he's like, man, there's a lot of money. If it doesn't work. I said, listen, if you have doubt, don't sign the paper. I will sign tomorrow. If I have the night before sign the paper, he called me. And how I pay that, so of course a lot of money. I said, listen, we have some money, okay? Of course they have that all. Let's pay the installments. And then we make 3 years installment plans, right, to pay to him. And everything was nice, everything was fine. The 3 year installment plans was on the paper. One day before, it's Rodrigo, I talked with my wife, And, you guys should give a down payment. No, and we didn't have the money. And then my business partner called me, man, he asked for down payment. What are you going to do? I said, give me a few minutes. Let me see what I can do. And I have nobody to call, to ask for money. I said, okay, let's talk with this guy. So he came to the table. I said, listen, we have the money to give down payment. That's the point. So if I give you the money, how are we going to run the gym? This is money for we invest in the business to make the grow, because what you're going to be paying for you is exactly what the gym is making. I have to live. He have to live. How are we going to pay our bills? So let's do like that. Let's put it like a $20,000, how down payment, $30,000. I don't remember the amount. Let's split that in 12 months. And you add that on the payments we're going to be doing to you. So the first year, you're going to pay the down payment with the installments. And the second, third year, just installments. And the guy, okay, it's fine. Just sign the papers. Yeah.
You opened your own gym?
No, we
purchased
his gym.
I thought you were actually going to go back to your buddy in California.
No,
you didn't.
No, that's over. I was here, and then bought the gym. Next day, got a flight ticket to Cali, went to the Gracie Barra headquarters, signed the official franchise agreement, came back.
So you became a franchisee.
Came back 5 years later. This was the biggest school on the franchise system.
Wow. You still own that gym?
Yeah.
And how many more do you personally own?
3.
3 more?
Yeah, 3.
And how many gyms from the same franchise are there now in Canada or in West Canada?
I am the director for Western Canada. So everyone who wants to open a school, I have to help them out, right? So now, 10 years later, we have 18 schools. I have 2 more coming up, 1 in Maple Ridge. So we have 20 schools now in the franchise here in Western Canada.
Did you find yourself during this process?
Yes, I did. And look, the majority of those people, like at 18 schools, 14 are my students, are people who got a black belt from me.
And who are now running these businesses.
Exactly.
Is it a seed that you have planted in their minds? Hey, you should.
No, that's the thing. They started training, okay? And their life starts changing, okay, for better. And then they start getting more into. And then they start bringing their family to train. And then everything starts changing. And then they start to compare with their own work. If they're not doing something they really love, and they start to fall in love with Jiu Jitsu, because it's pretty easy. You met great people in there. They always talk about health things, positive, always struggling with each other to get it better. So gets to one point they come to you and say, I want to be a instructor. I want to start teaching. And then you start to teaching them how to teach. And then they start seeing inside, and then you have the ICP, the Instructor Certificate Program. So when you do the ICP and you understand of business, you say, man, they have a good instructor here. And then you start to get into, and then you see they have a good instructor for business as well. So that's how they come and they got one professor, I want to open my own school, and then we help them out.
And many of your students and some of these instructors, they also come from other countries. They're also immigrants.
Yeah.
Do you actually see yourself, when you hear about their stories, do you see a little bit of you when you came back then, and then you try to help them out?
Many of them. I have actually I'm going today, 3:00 for his son's birthday, Marcelo. One of them, he came, he was a dentist in Brazil, very successful. He came and decided to open his school. I helped him out. And he tells this story, his wife back there, and he went to the coffee shop and tried to purchase a coffee and something, and his car got declined. And he said the same day his wife called him, how's it feel? That's, no, everything's wonderful, it's great, just give me a few more months and you can come. But it wasn't great, and he knew it, and today he's one of the owner of Gracie Barra Delta. He became a police officer, and it's nice to see, it's very rewarding. You see someone arriving like an immigrant like I did, and you help them out and you give the base to them. Now we just give a base, and they go from there, they go on their own. and see them successful a few years later.
And do you think it's easier now for someone who is coming to Canada compared to what your journey was like 14 years ago?
I believe every a change like that's never gonna be easy. Regarding and that time I left Brazil 2009. Brazil was doing good. So it's not like now. It's not because it was the economy or something like that. I left. As I said, I was still finding myself. But a lot of people are leaving nowadays. It's because how Brazil is going as a whole, as a country, right? But it's not easy. It's not easy. And what I see for the most of the people, they leave Brazil and they have a good job there or something like that. You have to leave that behind. You need to say you know what? I'm going to start from the beginning, because I see a lot of people struggling. They come here and everything they do here, they compare what they're doing in Brazil, and that's holding them back a lot.
It's holding them back.
A lot. When I came here, I work in construction. I have to make money, and I'm never going to forget, after a few years, I came back to vacation. I have a conversation with my dad and my mom, and I told them that. The things I have been through, the days, I didn't have money to eat, something like that. And my dad started crying. It's like, I didn't raise my kid to go through this. I said, yes, you did. Exactly. You raise your kid to do their best, to figure it out, to overcome hard times. Exactly, yeah. And my dad was crying because he found out a little, I didn't tell everything, but a few things I have to go through.
You barely told about any challenges you have faced. One of them that I know is one of your gyms caught fire.
Yeah. The Jiu Jitsu teach you to never give up. Okay, that's the mentality. Like when you train Jiu Jitsu it's a great martial arts. Why? When you train boxing, you're gonna knock out. We got knock out, you don't come back, start again. You get knocked out. You stop training, you go home. If you get a concussion, you're not gonna train for a few weeks, a month. And that goes to Taekwondo as well. You got a kick in the head, you out. Jiu-Jitsu is a different way to training. You shake your hands, start training, you got a caught, you tap. Right away, damn it, got a caught. You shake hands, you start again. That's a training on your mind to don't cry, to don't have time to cry, or to blame yourself for your defeat. You shake your hands and you start again. And the victory is just in the corner. Maybe you're going to get defeated again. And then you start again. So that's how you wire your mind training Jiu-Jitsu. You don't accept defeat. You don't cry over the defeat. You start again. And doing that, you start to bring that to everything in your life. And if you look at your life itself, you're going to lose everything you have. Little by little, you're going to lose. You're going to lose your hair. You're going to lose your car. You're going to lose your job. You're going to lose your business. You're going to lose your dog. You will lose as you get into life. You're going to be able to start again. You're going to be able to shake your hands right away and say, the victory is right in the corner. So every single thing happened in my life, I take that approach. And that wasn't different. That was a Wednesday. I got a call from my general manager, and she said, the gym's on fire. And I was in court that day for my oldest son. I was disputing just not disputing, but deciding for parenting time. We are getting share 50-50 parenting time with my ex girlfriend and for Magno. That's Magno's, and my first name son is after my friend who died in Brazil, Magno as well. Yeah. So I was in court. My phone was ringing, and the rings again. And the third time ring, I said, something serious happening. Yeah. Court's break. There's a break on the court. I step out, start to get the pictures. The gym on fire. And I couldn't even go there. I just got the phone. And then my manager, the gym's on fire. The gym's on, how that? No, it was a restaurant beside the gym. The fire was coming in. They tried to stop the fire, but wasn't able. And she said, I'm calling to the parents for the after-school program because we have this successful after-school program. We're not going to pick up the kids at school. I said, what? Said, no. It's the gym's on fire, not the vans. Take the vans, go pick up the kids. And she's like, Rodrigo, but where are you going to take the gym? The gym's on fire. I don't care. Take to Science Words, take to Vancouver, Barnaby, explain to the parents, listen, The parents are working right now. They pay us to pick up their kids at school because they cannot pick them up. So we need to be a solution, not a problem for them. They're not their business if the gym is on fire. It's our business. So get the vans, call the parents, explain, listen, the gym's on fire. We're going to take your kid to Burnaby to Quintilano, or we're going to drop off at home. Or where do you want? So that approach to the team, they put the tone, how we're going to proceed from that one. So right away, the team, guys, called the drivers, got the kids, and was 4 o'clock. I left the court, come back here, and I looked at, I just want to cry because it was in the middle of a pandemic. We lost half of our members. We are going through a hard time. I didn't fire any of my staff during the pandemic. It was hard on me financially, but like your technicians here, how long takes for a guy understand exactly what he's doing right now? Take years. He doesn't learn in 1 week. How are we going to fire that guy? Right?
Yeah.
So to find another one. See, like you work on, see how you're going to find a guy. It's not easy. So it's the same for jiu-jitsu instructors. The one you're going to have right now, after today, is an example of that. How are you going to fire that like that? Mm-hmm. So I said, I'm not going to fire nobody. They helped me to build this school. And if we're going to go down, we're going to go down together. So, man, it was tough to walk down the stairs. In that gym, walk down the stairs, I was looking up, I could see the sky. Because the fire got on the ceiling, and the firefighters just dumping water to the ceiling, so punching a lot of holes in the ceiling. And actually had more water damage than the fire damage. The fire damage was just on the ceiling. But they dumped water down, was full of water. I have water like here, up to here. So anyways, next day, I called a capoeira place nearby, and I ran their basement. And then the others decided to go in there to train. And it was like literally have to roll out the mats. It was a tiny space. And you see the size of that gym. And that comes like when you help so many people, you don't expect anything back. You help because you have to help. But man, when those things happen, that you such understanding how the things comes back in your life. So one of my students put a GoFundMe. I remember was carry things out of the gym. They go, Professor, I saw the fire. I'm going to start a GoFundMe. We're going to need money. And I said, okay, can I do it? Yes, do it. I was so out of my mind, just try to do it. This kid started this GoFundMe account. 24 hours, I have $40,000. Like only for $10,000 come for Switzerland.
Wow, from whom?
I stood off Maya, helping him to start.
Not a Swiss bank.
Not a Swiss.
They're going under now.
I stood off Maya, helping him to open his school, and he was very successful. Another one was came for all over the place. $40,000 in 24 hours.
Was that during the pandemic?
During the pandemic.
Was that period the most difficult one since you immigrated to Canada?
It was pretty tough. But the thing is, it wasn't the most difficult because I have an entire team beside me that time. So the things are easier. The most difficult time for me when I came was to spend my first Christmas by myself. Yeah, that was the
first Christmas. What did you do?
I was in Burnaby, in an apartment, but the first apartment.
By yourself?
By myself. I have a roommate that time, but because they celebrate on the 25th, right? And that was the 24th. So for them, the 24th is a normal day. And he went out with his girlfriend, and I stayed. And I was there playing video game and called my family. My family was all together in Brazil celebrating Christmas. And I put a pizza on the oven and make a pizza and watch TV. And I was looking outside, it was snowing. And that was my first Christmas here. And that was hard for me because all the problems I have after that, I have people around me. I have the gym, I have my family, I have my kids. All the problem I have today, I have people to support me. That time I was literally by myself.
And you are a magnet, right? People actually, they surround you. Do you think they're looking for guidance, leadership, or is it something else that they see in you?
It's hard to say, people have different desires, they come around for different reasons, but the time you show. And that's what I like to do. give the time. Some people have come to me and say, hey, watch out with that person. I said, let's give him more. Because more you give, more they're going to show up who they really are, what they really want, right? And so in that way, a lot of people comes around and goes around, And those people want to come to take advantage of you. And sometimes they do at a certain point. But when they go, like I have people who I brought from Brazil. I paid for the guy. It was just one for many, but just give one example. I paid for the guy for his passport. I remember this guy, he was contacting me. He's like, he was going to fight MMA fight to get 500 reals, like $150. He was going to fight that fight because his mom's birthday was coming and he didn't have money to buy a gift for his mom. So I was needed an instructor here. I said, you know what, come to Canada. And then pay for his flight ticket, for his passport. He didn't have a passport. Pay for everything. Guys came, started to live with me, started to teach whatever. At some point, he left. And it's normal to leave, but he left in bad terms. Like tried to open a school around, invite the students, those kinds of shitty things. And I said, you know what? Bye. And that's what I learned. And it was nice because I was doing that back then, but this guy he's a star. I saw a video of him a few months ago. Tony something, I forgot his name. And he's talking about he grew up watching his dad beat up his mom. And he grew up and he told his dad, you don't do that no more. Now I'm a man. So one day his aunt called him and say, go, your dad beat up your mom badly. And he said, go there, take my mom and the kids out the house, leave him by himself. So he went down there and he beat him up, his dad, badly. And he said, like, how you feel now? How you feel? I told you to don't touch my mom. So he knocked off his tooth, he beat him up. And then he's saying on the videos, like, yeah, the revenge was served, So I did what I always dreamed to after see all the years. He said, guess what? What happened? After a few days, my mom moved back in. I feel empty. I had that feeling, and I learned, or you have success, or you have revenge. You can have both.
Success and revenge?
You can have both. Or you have success, because he wasn't successful. He had his revenge, but he didn't feel well. He didn't feel good. So he wasn't successful. And that's why as soon as I listened to that, I said, man, that's what I'm doing in my life for a long time. But I never put in words like him. So how this bad things happen, if people betraying or do bad things, always I choose for the focus on the success. I never went after nobody for revenge. So we're going to pay back. I'm going to make you pay back. No, because I believe that person, they're going to find someone worse than them. And that they will pay, but it's not going to be me.
You seem to be pretty successful. What is success for you? And do you actually feel that you have achieved a certain level of success in your life? How old are you now?
I'm 41. Not really, because...
Oh, you're not successful yet?
It depends how you look at it, right? As I said, in the beginning, be successful, get the money to pay my rent. As I was telling you. That was be successful. Oh, I got my money, pay my rent this month. Yeah, success, right? So, and now comes and then you start to open your business, everything working out, and you gather amount of knowledge to help you to understand things in life, and you start to understand more about people. That's very important for business. And when you get a degree, open a school like today, doesn't take my attention too much to open a new school. Because I know, like a Kids Salon, the day we open, we have 80, 100, 85 students sign up. The day that we opened the door for the first day, the school was already on the blue, was making money. So today for me, open a new school and make success doesn't take my attention no more. Today I invest in people. I like to see people succeeding. So I have more pleasure today to invest hire someone like now, my new manager for after school. She came 3 months ago. She almost doubled the numbers and she's doing so well. And that I'm investing even more on her. So today for me, my business invests in people, and my success, my personal success, is come back home and see my kids like my kids, Daddy, I miss you, give me a hug. Personally, that's for me is my success, spend time with my family, and have that time with them, because we know, I have good memories, my best memories, my entire life. Rodrigo, what's your best memories? And I go back to my family, to my mom and dad at home, on the weekend, my dad with those venues, listen his samba, and we are all in home, with my sisters, goes back. So when I bring to my days, my nowadays today, and I look to my kids, I say, which kind of memories do you have? Do I gonna open 5 more business, make them successful, and don't have time for them? The way I was working in Brazil, I haven't been in that place before. For me, successful is invest in people, giving people opportunity to grow, pay them well. That's something I learned a few years ago. They're gonna start paying better my staff. We got insurance to all of them. So I'm treating better them. I give more opportunity to them, and I spend more time with my family. So personally, spend time with my family. Business, not invest in business, invest in people.
Very, very, very insightful. And for anybody who is coming to Canada now, pursuing their dreams, and they want to come and achieve a certain level of success, what tips would you give to anyone who is still coming?
Not only Brazil, but those people doesn't speak in English, okay? Because that was my experience, learning English. Your folks, before you start plan or make start put your stuff together, learn English. Is
it number one?
That's the number one, because you need to speak to get around. You need to, more English you speak, better jobs you can take. You have better opportunities. So that's why I see a lot of people say, oh no, I'm going to learn when I get there. You are right behind, So learn from there, And today, man, I learned English watching Smurfs.
Smurfs?
Yeah. I got here. I was speaking, and then this guy said, hey man, start watching cartoon. Easy conversation, for kids. So you're going to get better. So this house, I was renting a room in this house, and the guys had all the DVDs from the Smurfs. And I said, hey man, can I watch it on his living room? And say yes. So I was putting there, watching Smurf, and was with my computer on the translator, and the subtitle was pause and look at it and put it here, said, okay, and come back, listen again. So that's how I learned. I watched those 10 DVDs 1,000 times, and I memorized this. So I was talking with people some words and phrases for the memorization I did with the Smurfs, And after that, of course, you're going to improve. It's not just listen music and American music. Stop listening Brazilian music. Stop it. Start to listen American music. And then my English got a little bit better. Then this friend of mine said, start watching speech for politicians, speech for wise, because the vocabulary is good. They are people who work in the way they talk. Man, I watch all Barack Obama's speeches, all of them.
So communication is a very important thing?
It is. You if you right now you're planning to come to Canada, you start studying English. That's gonna put you ahead of the game. I see so many people arriving with the same problem, right? And if you come here for a base, intermediate English is great, because then you're gonna learn faster.
Do you actually get frustrated when you deal with people who are not doing enough to learn the language?
Yeah.
You already made it all the way
Exactly.
here. Man, just
stop to make excuses.
Yeah.
Just if I got your phone right now and I see the data, you spend at least 2 hours on the Facebook, Instagram. Just delete that and spend those 2 hours studying English every day. That's it. 6 months we're going to be talking, right? So just focus on that if you don't speak. And if you do speak and have a base, an intermediate or advanced English, that's going to be easier. But even though it's not easy, as I said to you, be prepared to come here and do some steps back in your life you should have.
For example?
is like, for example, me. That's my example, right? So my first bed here, as I said to you, was in US. When I got there, was a air mattress. My first apartment when I rent here was my blanket, and half of that I was laid down on, and the other half was cover me up. My luggage open beside me for my clothes. And that was my reality. And when I look back, when I have there, my bed, I have in my room, 4 or 5 people could sleep on. That's how big was the bed. And I ended up sleeping on the floor. So you need to be prepared for that. But that's the steps you need to take back to organize, learn about the culture, look for opportunity, get opportunity, learn how the things work in Canada, especially come from different culture. You need to relearn how the culture works.
For example?
Business,
Business language, business etiquette.
Everything, exactly. And come from Brazil, we're not business orientated. We have people, of course, but you talk about our culture, what our friends are doing right now, they're studying to try to get a job, to do a task, right? To get a public job. That's what they're doing. Most of my friends are doing that. So we go to university in Brazil and to get a degree so you can to get a job in the government, to do a task and get a job in the government, right? And here, you don't see much of that. You see people open business. You see people talking about money, and I like to go out with my friends. You talk about, it's important to understand how money works because we're going to deal with that. Doesn't matter if a doctor, doesn't matter who you are. You're going to deal with money. That's going to come in our hands. I have one. But when you understand how that works, you start to create a culture like, okay, that's how I need to do. That's how just like a dog. You have to understand and how to manage the dog, what they like, what they don't. Money is the same thing.
One of our goals with the podcast is to help out people who are thinking of coming to Canada. But another goal is to reignite that flame in people that already came and they had dreams, but somehow they just gave up on those dreams. What would you have to say to many people who are just, taking it easy or frustrated?
Goes back for how we started this conversation, If you're in that position right now, you lost yourself. You have to find yourself first, and it's hard to point it out because that's so personal. It's hard to say something, for the people who are lost interest or lost their driving, because that's personal. I'm talking about from my point of view, I lost myself and I went after myself to find myself and organize my life. So a lot of people give up on themselves for many reasons, for traumas they have as a child or the things they went through or drug problems, alcohol problems. Find what's wrong. Look inside and say, why I lost what I have? Or the person's already here, as you said, man, I got this job, it's paying me this $20 an hour for the last 5 years. I'm not looking for nothing better. Okay, that's a reality, but look for yourself. Look inside you. Look what you're doing. That's something personal. I think every single one needs to. And if you cannot find, go look for a professional, psychologist. Sit down and talk to someone who's going to help you point it out where you're missing. Find that piece you're missing and get that piece back in your puzzle. So that's something very personal. It's hard to say something they're going to be useful for everyone because every individual is different, and different background, and so just in my case, I found myself. That's what I find yourself. If you're in Canada right now, you came with a goal and you're looking back and say, oh man, I didn't even get a close. So replan, get a new goals or work on the old goals. Or life goes on. I see people from different ages arrive every day. So because we met a lot of families coming in and out, right? And as everyone, man, you're not by yourself. The struggle's not for you. It's for everyone. But sometimes you look at your eyes like, oh, it's so hard. Guess what? It's so hard for everyone. So what the difference is, man, you want to, in a country full of opportunities. Full of opportunities.
Yeah, I was going to ask you this. Is Canada still the land of opportunities?
Man, here's the thing. The easy place in earth to become a millionaire is here. And you are here already complaining. Go look for another planet. Okay, this is the easiest place to make money is here. If you cannot make money here, you complain about it. Go look for another planet. Because that's what you got best. If you want to make money, if you're driven, if you want to improve, this is the place. I can see, and I have a better view because I came from a poor country. As I said, I live inside a favela for 5 years teaching. So I know exactly how poor works, right? Man, if you are born poor in Brazil, your chance to get out of that is almost zero. Almost zero. The chance for you to be killed is bigger than the chance you become successful or go to a middle class. That's the reality. Come from that background, seeing what I saw. Come to nowadays here in this country. And the people talking about, we have a recession. Dude, we have people getting shot in Brazil because of the cell phone. Kill. So, that's, I cannot complain about, people talk about taxes here. I pay a lot of taxes. When I complain? Never. Because I came from a place, we pay as much taxes here, we have nothing back. Nothing. Zero. Okay, we pay tax in Brazil, you need to get a private health care. You need to put your kids at private school because the public schools is garbage. You need to put a security cameras in your house. You need to put armor in your car on windows. It's like, well, look, how can I complain about taxes here? I don't need to do anything of that. You broke your arm, go to the hospital. Go to a hospital in Brazil right now in a broke arm, a public hospital, and see how long it will take to get a treat. We know that. So
life's good now.
It is.
What's next for you? What big dreams are you working on next?
I want to invest in Brazil. It's funny, right? It's funny. It's because...
What do you mean, investing in the stock market?
No. I have 2 projects in Brazil. One is open a school on a Gracie Barra school on the beach with like a kind of a hotel. And is a kind of a little resort, right? It's not going to say that, look like a big, no, just 12 rooms, 10 rooms, a gym, and kite surf spot, school as well, but on the beach. Because what did I want is, we have a full of family training for us. On our 3 school combines, we have like 1,800 students, the 3 school combines.
Here in Vancouver?
Here in Vancouver. And then we sell a lifestyle. The people start eating better, practice more sports. And then you start to becoming your trips. Like now, I just have Coach Steve, one of our coaches, went to Florida with his family for vacation, and he went to Gracie Barra school to visit. Because it's nice. You go there, you don't need to pay because you're Gracie Barra franchise. People welcome you well, and right there you make friends, and the people that can invite you for barbecue. So it's a great community. And the way my vision, I was 41, when I got to my 50s, I want to my students to have that in Brazil. To get a vacation, go to Brazil, go to a place where they can train Jiu Jitsu, they can drink coconut water from the real deal, they can do kite surfing, they can do Jiu Jitsu, they can rest, they can have a massage, they can have the kids playing, a place when you can get your kids and your family and go and just like relax, they're going to have sports, going to have good food, you can literally, and this place We have the land already. I bought it already. So it's
where is it, and where do we sign up?
Natal,
Where do we sign up for it?
So the idea
three spots for me, my wife, and our child.
But that's what we want. We want you go there with your kids, and you literally have a team who's gonna take care of your kids, and your wife can do something, or do something together. It's to relax, train jiu-jitsu, do sport, and it's right beside. There's a fisherman spot where they come every day 4 or 5 o'clock. They're coming with their boat with all the fishes, so you literally can go there and pick it up the lobster you want to eat, or the fish you want to eat for dinner. So I want something like that, for the, we have that right now in Gracie Barra, we have that, but we have in Mexico, they take the student for a big resort, but it's nothing personal. And then you go to the tourists, to see the tourist things there. It's a tons of people, so you kind of you don't relax. I wanted to make a place for the people to jiu-jitsu, like a family, to relax.
Awesome.
And also that gym there, we're going to open. So we're going to stay in this hotel, Gracie Barra Hotel. So for each person, you're going to sponsor a kid from that village. So you're going to there to spend a week. So you are sponsored with a gi to a kid. So the gym's going to be right beside the hotel. So that's what he wants as well. That goes back what I did in Brasilia, and my idea is to teach jiu-jitsu for those kids, and they teach in English, and when they get older, they come work here in Canada, teaching
cool.
So
the cycle is complete.
But I have done before. So as I said to you, Venice is here. I have 2 more students in Alabama teaching, I have done that before. I just want to go back to that. That's what I'm very into.
That's a very cool project.
Because connect what I did here to there, and I want to help my country. I want to help my country. I want to do something there. I want to pay back, because we talk I wasn't talking bad about Brazil. I was talking about reality, but the other reality, man, that reality builds us differently. That reality builds us differently. We have more driving, we can recognize, as I said, sometimes my friends have complained about things. I started laughing. What you laughing at? I said, you have no idea. Yeah, because for the background we came from, and we see things differently, and that's not a bad thing or a good thing, just we are lucky to have those experiences our country gave to us. And I want to somehow go back there and do something to my country.
And give back.
Give back. Again. Yeah, I think that's necessary.
And where can people find you? What should they follow you on Instagram? Do you want to be left alone?
No, yeah, I'm not that active on my Instagram, but more.
What gyms do you?
The Gracie Barra Vancouver, Gracie Barra Vancouver, Gracie Barra Burnaby, Gracie Barra Kingsland. That's our schools. I bounce around the 3 schools. I'm teaching more now in Vancouver, and is as you know, is a different gym. It's for family. We talk about gym jiu-jitsu, but we don't have there MMA fighters or something like that. We have there tons of kids, we just have yesterday women's self-defense for 80, almost 90 women's, for free. We have free seminars for women's. We have free anti-bullying. We do things that for the community, but it's a different vibe. It's something for the family. So if you look something to do with your kid or by yourself, we have a over 40 years old class, because you notice a lot of parents was there, once you train. So we create a class only for people over 40, and it's a big hit. So that's the vibe we want give to everyone who wants to train or want to do something, and you can do something with your family. So I hope to see you in a gi training for a little guy very soon, because that's exactly what Gracie Barra wants, to create connections and bond with parents and kids.
Great. Rodrigo, it's been an immense pleasure to have you here today. Thank you so much. And thank you for sticking with us until the end of this episode. I hope you liked it. And if you did, please remember to click like to share this video and to subscribe to our channel on YouTube to help us grow, especially now at the beginning of the Canadian Dream podcast. Thank you so much and see you next time.